Since becoming the starting quarterback for the Green Bay Packers at the age of 25, Aaron Rodgers has never really looked back in terms of being a consistently great quarterback. Since 2008, he's won multiple MVP awards, he's won a Super Bowl for Green Bay, and he's been at the top of the league in terms of quarterback standings pretty much every single season when we look at every quarterback in the league. This is kind of interesting to me because when you look at Aaron Rodgers' career, you won't really say that he's had a top flight wide receiver throughout his career. Through many of the years, he had guys like Donald Driver, he had guys like Greg Jennings, James Jones was a good guy for Green Bay as well, and now he even has Davante Adams. But when you look around at guys throughout league history who were, consistently great quarterbacks, when we talk about great, all-time quarterbacks, Drew Brees had guys like Jimmy Graham through most of his career when Jimmy Graham was very elite. Phillip Rivers has had many great wide receiver and tight end options when you look at guys like Keenan Allen, Antonio Gates, even Hunter Henry for a few years. Aaron Rodgers has really never had a top flight receiver really to grow with and go throughout his career with in Green Bay. This is why when many people saw that the Green Bay Packers were not able to pull off a trade for Will Fuller at the trade deadline a couple days ago, it led many people to scratch their heads because everybody has known throughout really the past few years that the Green Bay Packers have needed to add another wide receiver opposite of Davante Adams. And considering the fact that in the first round they traded up to draft Jordan Love when there were multiple wide receivers still on the board, and even in the second round they doubled down on stupid decisions by drafting their third running back in A.J. Dillon to sit behind Jamal Williams and Aaron Jones. So seeing them not even take a chance at the trade deadline on a wide receiver was as equally head-scratching as their multiple draft mistakes that they made earlier this year. With that being said, Aaron Rodgers has been very vocal throughout his career with things that he's not really pleased with, whether it's been his head coach and Mike McCarthy, whether it's been the wide receivers that he's been playing with not playing at their full capabilities and at least not capable of other top receivers around the league. So I would not be surprised if this season did not end up in a Super Bowl and if it ended up in an early exit in the playoffs for the Green Bay Packers. I would not be surprised if Aaron Rodgers would request a trade, honestly, from the Green Bay Packers. And today I'm going to be talking to you about 5 teams that I think Aaron Rodgers should be looking at, and 5 teams that should be looking at Aaron Rodgers as a trade target this upcoming offseason. So my number 5 team that I have that should try to trade for Aaron Rodgers this offseason is the LA Rams. The LA Rams got many guys on this team, 2 solid tight ends in Higbee and Everett, 2 great wide receivers in Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods, a solid backfield with guys like Henderson, Cam Akers, and Malcolm Brown, and a solid defense to boot. So however LA would try to get this done, I'm not exactly sure whether it would be draft picks or whether it would be player capital. But if they were to replace Jared Goff with Aaron Rodgers, that would be a huge boost for them. As we've seen so far this year, even Jared Goff has not really been able to handle the pressure of being a top flight quarterback. And he's not really been able to handle the pressure as a pocket quarterback. So replacing him with Aaron Rodgers would be a huge boost for them. And there's no telling the kind of success that Aaron Rodgers would have in this Sean McVay offense and scheme. So for me, that's the number 5 team I would look out for in terms of trying to pull off a trade for Aaron Rodgers this upcoming offseason. Next up, my number 4 team that should try to trade for Aaron Rodgers this upcoming offseason is the New England Patriots. He really would be, I wouldn't say he would be the savior of the New England Patriots because this is really the one year we've seen in about 20 years where the Patriots are going to be towards the bottom of the league. But I think there's a chance if the Patriots end up with a pretty high pick inside the top 5 or even top 10, that could be a reason for the Packers to trade Aaron Rodgers there because they are more than likely not going to end up with the top pick. They're probably going to be picking in the bottom 10 of the first round. So they would be able to get a top pick in the first round next year, get a wide receiver, get an offensive lineman, get a defensive player, whatever it is, and then New England, Bill Belichick would be able to end his career with a great top 10, top 5 quarterback really in Aaron Rodgers. And we'd see the Patriots back probably in the Super Bowl, at least in Super Bowl contention the next season. So the number 3 team that I think should try to pull off a trade for Aaron Rodgers this upcoming offseason is the Cleveland Browns. And I know it might not make sense because they already have Baker Mayfield, which they've come out and said that they love Baker and everything like that. But upgrading Baker Mayfield with Aaron Rodgers is kind of the same thing with upgrading Jared Goff with Aaron Rodgers. There's a real easy telltale between the two guys. And it's already come out from, I believe, Jay Glazer that the Cleveland Browns are probably going to be getting rid of Odell Beckham Jr. in the offseason, so that's already a piece in place in terms of being able to pull off a trade. Cleveland would probably have to throw in, a first-round pick, maybe a third and fourth-round pick as well to get Aaron Rodgers, but that would be a great trade for both teams because Jordan Love would be going into his career in Green Bay with 2 top 10 receivers in Davante Adams and Odell Beckham Jr., and Aaron Rodgers would get a new start with a great offense between guys like Austin Hooper, David Njoku, a solid offensive line, 2 great running backs between Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt, and then Jarvis Landry on the outside with whoever else they replace Odell Beckham Jr. with. So that would be a great team, in my opinion. That would easily be a Super Bowl contending team, and it would bring a lot more energy to Cleveland, even this year with a team that's brought a lot of energy to Cleveland. So I think both teams would welcome that trade, and I think both guys in Odell Beckham and Aaron Rodgers would welcome that trade as well. So that's my number 3 team. Alrighty, my number 2 team that I have that should try to pull off a trade for Aaron Rodgers this offseason is the Dallas Cowboys, and I am aware of the situation that they have with Dak Prescott. If Dak Prescott is not able to come back to full strength, if he's not able to get back to the player that he was, Aaron Rodgers gives them at least a safety valve, and a pretty dang good safety valve in Aaron Rodgers. And if they have to give up somebody on the wide receiver core, which, like I said earlier with the Browns, they'd probably be giving up Odell Beckham Jr. With the Dallas Cowboys, they'd probably be giving up either CeeDee Lamb or Michael Gallup. I can't see them getting rid of Amari Cooper. But Aaron Rodgers, with whether it's Amari Cooper and either Michael Gallup or CeeDee Lamb, that's a top 5 offense already. And the Dallas Cowboys, as is probably in the top 5 in every statistical category offensively in the NFL. Throw in Ezekiel Elliott as well. Throw in a solid offensive line. And this is a Super Bowl contending team with Aaron Rodgers at the helm. So for me, that's the number 2 team that should try to pull off a trade this upcoming offseason for Aaron Rodgers. Alrighty, so the number 1 team that I have that should trade for Aaron Rodgers is the team that probably everyone knew going into the video, is the San Francisco 49ers. Jimmy Garoppolo has really struggled, even though they went to the Super Bowl last year. He's really struggled in a majority of his games, and I could see Aaron Rodgers being really welcome to being traded to the team that he grew up loving as a kid. He's a Bay Area kid. He's at least from the Bay Area. And him in an offense that has guys like Raheem Mostert, Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle, a solid offensive line, he'd really relish that role, and he'd be playing for his hometown team. So I think he'd really love to get traded there. I think Green Bay would be better to make that move because they would probably get draft capital. They might even get a good defensive player as well. So, yeah, there's a very good chance that this happens, at least in my opinion, if Aaron Rodgers goes into the offseason saying that he wants out of Green Bay. So San Francisco is probably the number 1 team to be watching for in terms of getting Aaron Rodgers. Alrighty, with all that being said, that's going to be the video for me. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you leave a like. If you didn't like it, make sure you leave a dislike. Any feedback at this point is much appreciated. I've been a little bit MIA for the past month or so. There's been a lot that's happened. My computer kind of crapped out on me, so I wasn't able to do literally anything. But I'm going to try to be bringing out as much content as possible. It's Thursday night, so there's a game on tonight with Aaron Rodgers in it, actually. So I thought might as well get this video out before that game. And yeah, I will see you all in the next video. Peace.